Hello everyone, welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. I am, as always, Captain Logan, and joining me is my wonderful chat moderator and producer, DJ Martinez. Welcome, DJ. Hello everyone.
Hello. How's it going,
man? As always, Captain Logan. And joining me is my wonderful chat moderator and producer, DJ Martinez.
That is my bad.
Is that on your end?
Yeah, I just got it.
It felt so professional up until that moment.
Well, we almost made it.
All
we made
30 seconds of it.
30 seconds.
Man, like the microphones were muted and then unmuted. The music was coming through clearly, and then all of a sudden there was a doppelganger me saying exactly all the things I just said seconds behind me. Which one is the real one? You be the judge. It's a paradox. It's a time paradox.
That's happened before, and you haven't been able to hear it. I'm wondering why you heard it tonight.
I don't know. My guess is, well, I was going to say maybe sound is not going through your headphones, but it must be, because otherwise I would still be hearing myself.
Yeah, they're both on my microphone. I don't know. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It's fixed now.
It just makes no sense. Yes, Cinematographic, that was the Wii channel music. Okay, so I'm just going to ask the question right out the gate, DJ, because people before the show were already asking me, and I figure we might as well go ahead and knock this out. I noticed that you had movie Harley Quinn on the cup you're drinking out of. Is that your way of telling us that you actually liked Birds of Prey, or is that just because you got it when you were at the movie theater?
My wife got a Coke Icy, and they gave us this. But I did enjoy the movie. Did you not? I haven't watched it really?
Oh, I didn't care for it. No.
Well, we can get into it.
Yeah. No, I thought it was pretty dull. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was terrible, but it didn't do anything for me, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was like groundbreaking or amazing or anything, but it's probably middle of the road for the DC movies for me.
Yeah,
right,
but the chasm is so wide now, right? And when you say middle of the road, like there's BVS and then there's like Suicide Squad and then there's like Wonder Woman. This ain't in the middle of that. This is still more toward that other side, but there's still a pretty wide gap between the thing at the bottom and it. It's just that if you're going by those standards, those are very, very low standards. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was trying so hard to make me laugh, and it rarely ever did.
Oh, interesting. I didn't get that desperate for laughs vibe. I just got like a fun romp kind of vibe, kind of like Dread, or I'm trying to think of other just like fun movies that I've seen.
Oh, interesting. I thought the plot was really hackneyed and uninspired. I thought it wanted also desperately to be Deadpool. And one of the things I was kind of concerned about.
Light years ahead of Deadpool for me, because I hated Deadpool. Deadpool, I did get that desperate vibe, and I didn't laugh once, so that's what I had. That's the experience I had with Deadpool.
Well, you're talking to the wrong person there. I think that's a really good film, but
I know. I've heard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. It also didn't help that I was with my wife, and she absolutely loathed it. Just hated it with a strong, burning passion. Wished I hadn't brought her. And
I think most of the reason I liked it was because I was with my wife, and she absolutely loved it.
Interesting.
So
okay.
I just had a really good experience, and I liked a lot of the choreography. The martial arts was really good and interesting. They added
I thought the action was fine, but
and did reshoots for that. And I knew a lot of the stunt guys, not know them personally, but a lot of the stunt guys that I could pick out in it were like from the tournament circuit back in the day. And it was really cool seeing them on screen again. And they were all together, kind of, which was weird. Micah Carnes, Matt Emig, Jeremy Marinas was in the police fight scene. It was really cool. But anyway, no one cares about that.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. The only major positive things I had to say when I reviewed it were about action.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Well, didn't they like bring in the guy, one of the John Wick guys to do reshoots for the action? I think that's what I heard.
Tell you.
I think that's what I heard, but I didn't know that at the time. I just thought it was shot pretty cool.
Well,
but
I mean, I know your tastes are really different from mine. It's unusual for us to be as opposite on the spectrum on something. I guess comedy is a thing that you're kind of different on than me, but
yeah, but like I said, I didn't think it was like a particularly funny movie, but I didn't get the vibe that it was trying to be like a super funny movie. So I guess
oh boy, I did, but all right.
Because when something's trying to be super funny, like Thor Ragnarok, it drives me nuts and I hate it and I can never watch it again. So that's weird that I didn't get that vibe though.
Did the nonlinear structure thing at the beginning not kind of drive you crazy? I mean, I just kept going like, just put the scenes in order. There's no reason for this.
Yeah, I didn't like that we got the scene. That's one thing I didn't like because we got the scene where she breaks her out of prison, and then we find out who she is, and it was really weird the way they put that together because I didn't even know who she was saving.
That was odd. I didn't understand why Harley Quinn kept narrating things that she wasn't privy to. She wasn't there for half the stuff she was talking about. I was like, how do you know this stuff? Again, she was just narrating because she's Deadpool. And I didn't feel like we got any. I don't mean to just reiterate my review, but you didn't hear it.
Sorry, guys.
I also felt like I just didn't get anything like new and insightful or anything about her character that I didn't get in Suicide Squad, and I liked her better in Suicide Squad.
Interesting, because I haven't seen Suicide Squad, so this is my introduction to her. I thought she was...
Oh, that may have had something to do with it. So you've not seen Suicide Squad, and you're not a Birds of Prey fan in the first place.
That's another thing I was going to say. I don't know any of these characters, and I could tell...
The Cassandra Cain thing is not going to piss you off like it does Birds of Prey fans,
I could
because
tell
that ain't
watching.
Cassandra Cain, and they're also like putting up a middle finger at those of us that love that character in her in her introductory scene, which you would not have picked up on.
Yeah, I can tell watching it that they're like, I'm like, okay, there's big DC fans that aren't going to like this at all. Because this is basically like, I mean, the Thor Ragnarok thing where they just totally don't do Thor at all, and it's like not the character at all. I imagine that's kind of what some people have with this, because I know a lot of people, even going into it, I know Connor was talking about how horrible it looked. I know he's a big DC fan and the Bat Family fan, so I know none of that.
Well, again, I knew they were going to do a lot of different things with those characters and that some of them wouldn't be exactly the comic book characters, but I just needed to be won over on some major aspect, and I wasn't. Like, it could have been a great Harley Quinn movie and just not a good Birds of Prey movie, and I felt like they were shoehorned in just like I expected them to be, and then I didn't love watching her either by the end of the day. I don't know. It was an unfortunate experience for me, and I, for one, am kind of glad that it's not performing because I didn't like it. But
yeah, it's weird. You want to talk about that? Some people have already asked us about the whole like name change thing.
Yeah, let's do that, which is stupid. But yeah, let's do that, and then we'll get into just some regular questions. Let me say, as always, if you want to make sure that your question or topic gets discussed on the air, you can leave a super chat, and we will always make sure and read those, but don't feel like you have to do that. We will also do as many pre-written questions as humanly possible. If you decide to help us out that way, we sure appreciate it. The channel is mostly supported by the viewers, and you guys are wonderful for doing that, but if you don't want to, or whatever, that's great too. Just leave a regular comment. We'll do as many as we can. Doesn't look like we have a good crowd tonight, but it's not huge, so we should be able to get to the majority of questions unless I'm just really, really windbaggy. So yeah, the name change thing. Did you have a specific question you wanted to read?
Well, yeah, that and Azim asks, what will the ultimately be the fallout of Birds of Prey's box office failure? So we can get into that a little bit too.
Yeah. So apparently, and I haven't actually seen this anywhere yet. I'm assuming it hasn't happened yet. I mean, I've not been to a theater, so I don't know. But apparently, Warner's is going with the strategy of, oh, oops, we didn't remotely meet expectations, projections. It did like 33 million opening weekend, and it was projected to do 50. It was supposed to do like Ant-Man numbers, and it did just over half of what was projected. And so they're like, oh crap, we messed up. We should have put Birds of Prey as the title in the first place, or at least front-loaded with it. Yeah. Duh, obviously, but especially because that's how... Or Harley Quinn, excuse me. Obviously, Harley Quinn's name should have been first. That's how they promoted the film. Now that I've seen it, it's just like I expected it to be DJ. It is her movie. They are just, like supporting characters for her. I do appreciate, again, like I said in my review, that by the end, she at least is not considered a member of the Birds of Prey. That would have irritated me, and I thought they would do that. I'm glad they didn't do that. But now they've changed the name of it in the theater to Harley Quinn: Birds of Prey. That's still a weird title, but at least Harley Quinn's name is first. It's too little too late. It's not going to help that much. It's not going to save it. You might have the occasional straggler. I can't remember if it was Connor or who suggested to me, somebody that worked at a movie theater. I think it was Connor. And by the way, Connor's in the comments. Hi, Connor. I think maybe it was Connor, but I talked to somebody that worked at a movie theater at some point in their lives and said, Well, people are dumb. Like people will show up to a theater and not know anything about a movie, and you might have some people who go, Harley Quinn's in this movie, or like what is that? And so like they need the name there, and then they'll go see it. But like the majority these days of people who go to a theater already like know what they're going to see, and I think most people that intentionally go to the theater to see that movie, like, are already aware of that. So I don't know if you are standing at a movie theater and now it says Harley Quinn in the title, maybe you'll think to go next time. Beyond that, though, DJ, all the advertising makes it really clear that it's hard. Like, changing that in the advertising is not going to do anything.
Well, the article I saw said that they actually changed it to help people find it better by searching.
Oh. Okay, but it's still in the subtitle, though.
Yeah, so I mean, I would think that the SEO would still pull it up.
I would think so, too.
In the very end, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they only did, like, Birds of Prey, some of the sites. I don't know. But that's what the article said.
If it's about algorithms, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, because I assume if you have, like, a gigantic title like that, then it's not going to be as prominent in the search as the Birds of Prey would be. And nobody knows what Birds of Prey is, so I don't know. I think it makes a little sense, but like I said, like you said, I think it's a little too late. I don't know if it's really going to do much at this point. Except for, like you said, I know some people that still, like, just look at the marquee and go see a movie, but it's definitely not as many people as it used to be.
That's going to be negligible numbers, though, when your movie did, like just a little bit better than half of what you were expecting opening weekend. That might net them an extra $1 million at the box office, maybe, probably more like half that, if that. Mm-hmm. When I said that's stupid, I mean it's stupid that we didn't call it that in the first place.
I know. I
don't necessarily begrudge them doing it now, but I can't help but make fun of them for not doing it in the first place.
Was that like the director's vision? Like, she really wanted it to be called that or something? I don't know why they didn't do it in the first place. I think they thought that title was super clever. The sense I get from it is that the director came up with that title and Warner's kind of let them do whatever they wanted to. This movie feels like they let them do whatever they wanted to. It does, and that's why some of the issues I have with it irk me more than they would otherwise, because it does certain things that feel like a movie compromised by a studio, and I know that doesn't seem to be what happened. Again, that nonlinear thing is like that. You didn't see Suicide Squad, but it has that even worse at the beginning, so I go into this movie and I'm like, you guys are making the same mistakes made with Suicide Squad? And it wasn't a movie that was, like, re-edited to be something else and afterwards? Really? Oh, okay. So I don't understand that. The whole premise is so counterintuitive in the first place, the way the Birds of Prey are shoehorned in. I think a cleverer, more fun story would probably have been told if they just didn't make it a origin team building thing again. And, like, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking it probably wouldn't have irked me as much if I hadn't seen Suicide Squad. It's really interesting that you have that perspective, because how come our two Harley Quinn movies so far both have to be team things? Like, they both have to be, like, we're building a team, and, like, it was too much of the same cookie-cutter structure of the Suicide Squad movie, and then the next thing she's going to be in is another Suicide Squad movie that's probably going to have somewhat of a different Suicide Squad team that probably will have to be an origin putting them together again, too! Yeah, have you seen the photos from that someone posted in the Society? She's got the red and black hair.
Oh yeah, finally. I did see that.
I never realized that. I don't know why they went with the pink and blue. What is that? What that is?
Comic book. That's what she looks like right now in the comics. Or has lately. Yeah.
But she's red and I don't know. Why would they not stick with the red and black Harlequin?
It's just current, and it looks good. The
black cool.
and the red. Yeah, it looks cool. So I don't know, man. I heard a rumor, and I don't know how. Again, I don't know if this is true. I'm calling this a rumor, and I don't have a source on this. I can't remember where I read this, but so somebody tell me if you can give me anything that confirms this. But I heard somewhere that apparently this was, like, actually planned as a sequel to a movie that they didn't make, and so. Oh, wow. There was supposed to be a Joker Harley Quinn before this. Remember when we had heard that there was supposed to be a Harley Quinn and the Joker movie, and then there was also a standalone Harley Quinn movie that I think was even different from that, and then there was also this, and then there was Suicide Squad 2, and there might have even been a fifth thing. Well, I guess the standalone Joker thing was that fifth thing, and that actually happened and won Oscars. But with this, I didn't realize that movie was originally supposed to come out first. If that is the case. And so the whole Joker and Harley breaking up thing was actually supposed to be on screen, and it's like really, really awkward that we don't see it happen. And apparently it was because like they didn't want to bring Leto back, or Leto wouldn't come back, or whatever it was. And so instead of recasting, they just went, okay, we're gonna put Emancipation in the title, but we're gonna have that happen already. So like the clear character arc you would have done with the next thing after Suicide Squad would have been she's leaving that relationship, and even though we know Joker's not in this movie, putting that in the title makes you think that her character arc has more to do with that than it does, but it's happened already, and it's really awkward.
Yeah, that was weird. I actually like that we just started. Like, I would have hated actually seeing that. I like that it was just like, this is the status quo and let's get started. Because I figured some of that stuff happened in Suicide Squad because I never saw it. Like,
Suicide Squad ends, spoiler alert, with Joker breaking her out of Arkham.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't see that. Because is her falling in the vat at the chemical place in Suicide Squad, or was that just made up?
That is footage from that movie, straight out of it.
Oh,
you see
wow.
the back of Leto's neck in that shot.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. I just thought. I mean, I didn't know if it was from that or not. I kind of figured it was, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess a lot of that stuff went over my head. I'm kind of glad I haven't seen that movie.
Well, should we move on? Go to some other topics. Or was there anything else?
Yeah, somebody had mentioned that there was a Gotham City Sirens movie too. Stephen Murphy.
That was the other one.
That was the other one.
And see, that's another reason that I'm kind of upset about this. I was hoping they would win me over on that premise. They didn't, so I'm back to why didn't you just make a Sirens movie in the first place? You got a smaller cast. You have like female DC characters that make more sense to be on a team with Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I guess they really wanted to get these Birds of Prey movies or Birds of Prey characters started, and they didn't think they could do it on their own, so they needed Harley Quinn to like. I
would love to know what the story is behind that, because if that is the case, I would think that Warner's would have wanted them to be a little bit closer to what they are in the comics, because they're just. Maybe this is just me, but like that does not seem like a group of characters that has any legs to stand on their own in future installments.
Yeah, you would think that Cassandra Cain has a Batgirl suit, right?
Cassandra Cain. Okay, so
like, why would they not want to use any kind of recognition they could with a Batman suit?
So this is going to be like turn me off for a minute, guys, if you don't want spoilers for that movie. But I am going to spoil this because I want to mention this real quick. DJ, why would you end like we just have this character we named Cassandra Cain that has nothing at all to do with Cassandra Cain except that she's like on the street and a street rat, but why would you end your movie with Cassandra Cain with a thing called Birds of Prey, with Cassandra Cain becoming Harley Quinn's sidekick? That's insane. That's crazy. So the way, because you don't know about Cassandra Cain, I was gonna mention this to you earlier, DJ, and again, everybody that's seen the movie will know about this already and saw my review because I talked about this. But Cassandra Cain in the comics begins mute. What's really interesting about that character is that her father raised her with only the language of violence. So she's raised, and you would like this character a lot because she's all about martial arts. And she grows up learning to navigate the world with only her fists and her legs, and like fighting. And it's a long time before she learns how to really speak like incomplete sentences. She knows, like, early on she has never spoken before when she meets Oracle, and Oracle is like teaching her how to speak. She becomes Batgirl. So she is only the second Batgirl, and this all starts in No Man's Land. And Barbara Gordon passes the mantle down to her, allows her to be Batgirl. And it would be perfect to put Cassandra Cain in a Birds of Prey thing and let her be a member of the Birds of Prey, because Birds of Prey starts with Oracle and Huntress, and she is trained to be Batgirl by Oracle, and also trained to speak in the first place. Okay, in Birds of Prey, when they first introduce Cassandra Cain, she's at a police precinct, and she is not talking, and they're doing that for the people in the audience that know that she's not supposed to talk, and then it turns out she's just got something caught in her throat, and then she starts talking. It's freaking obnoxious. Like, just don't do that. I'm telling you, man, middle finger at Cassandra Cain fans. They probably think it was a cute nod. They should have named her something else, or at the very least, not even addressed it. Ticks me off.
Yeah, just call her like the kid the whole movie or something. Like you don't even need. She doesn't really need a name.
Call me a raging fanboy, or just make up a name. She doesn't have to be anybody from comics. Call me a raging fanboy, but like that's a character I love and I've always wanted to see on film, and that's what we got. And that movie didn't perform, so it will be a good long time, if ever, that we see that on the big screen. I think Birds of Prey on television is still possible, in some form, but.
Yeah, so I could definitely see why people are really upset about it. Like I said, I knew nothing about these characters. I feel like this is how I felt during Ant-Man, when people are all like, Ant-Man's the greatest Marvel movie and it's so good, and it was like just a slap in the face to anyone who liked classic Ant-Man stuff.
Oh, that's fair. And see, I'm not an Ant-Man guy. Yeah.
So that's exactly why. So it's kind of cool to get this side of the experience.
Well, again,
like, all
as I always
stuff.
say, I don't want to not take the movie on its own terms, but I think, and this is the difference between us, could be wrong because I can't not see things the way I see them. I can't not have my background and experiences that I've had, DJ. But I don't think I would have liked that movie even if I didn't know about Birds of Prey. I don't think I would have cared for it. I have plenty of other reasons for having issues with that film.
Yeah.
But
no, that's not fair. I also had like zero expectations. Like I didn't even see Suicide Squad. I didn't care enough to go see it. I didn't really. The only reason I saw this was because my wife really wanted to see it. So it was like perfect, best case scenario for me to enjoy this movie for an hour.
But it was not the bombastic like super fun crazy romp that it looked like it might be from that trailer that you and I liked. It just it didn't reach the cleverness and the hilarity that it looked like it could have from that trailer. I thought it was really uninspired. That's just me, but
yeah. We got some super chats.
Yeah.
Let's
hey, Dan Torrey's in the comments. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Man.
It's good to see you in text.
John Ty, first super chat. How does one stop seeking approval for their insecurities on social media?
Interesting.
Wow, that's a big one to start with.
It is. Well, and I don't want to immediately be facetious, but like the first thing I want to say is like,
get off social media.
Knock that off. I don't know. Like, go talk to real flesh and blood people in your regular everyday life, and like maybe you're not ready for social media. I understand, of course, why that happens. People go to, and I don't mean everybody. Obviously, there's good reason to have social media. DJ and I are both to some degree, in some ways, on social media. But
yeah.
There are, of course, a lot of folks that go to social media because they're lonely and because they don't have enough, people in their real life, air quotes, to talk to, and are looking for friends, and it's very easy to be desperate, and they'll make the same mistakes on social media that they would in real life. The difference is it's harder to wholly get rid of people in social media. Like, obviously you can block people and stuff, but what I mean is, if in real life you make some of the mistakes that you might make in social media, people can just turn around and leave and not talk to you. And then now you have to walk up physically to another person and annoy them. And in social media, as soon as somebody stops ignoring you, or starts ignoring you, there's like, a billion other people that you can try to bother, and you just keep throwing stuff out and hoping that somebody catches on. And you don't always immediately have some of the tells that a person is really socially awkward, or that they're emotionally desperate, or that they're going to do everything they can to try to get you to be friends with them when you first talk to a person on social media, like you might if you saw somebody in real life and they seemed like super ultra desperate. So my advice to the people, of course, that are looking for validation on social media is that that's not the place to do that. And you don't like now I feel like I just have to turn into a therapist or something, but like you don't want to look for validation in life anyway. You want to be yourself, and you want to get comfortable in your own skin, and you will naturally find people, and people will be attracted to you that like the cut of your jib. Don't look for validation is my response to that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I took this question as more of like posting on social media. That's how I interpreted it.
What do you mean?
Like, the manner in which you post. Don't post and then like be constantly checking the likes all the time, or checking how many people have viewed it, Like, you don't
I
need people
see.
to like your post. Just post, like Cap said, just be yourself. Make posts about stuff you want to make posts about, and like just be yourself on there, and then eventually, like Cap said, people who have the same interest as you will kind of check your stuff out and hang around for a little bit.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't completely sure what we were talking about with that. That was kind of a vague question, but yeah,
Yeah.
if that's what we're talking about, if we're talking about people who seeking validation in the sense of I need a certain number of followers, or I
Mhm.
need, I'm gonna be depressed if I got, one like and no comments on this on this thing I posted that I thought would like make waves. Couple of things to keep in mind. Some of it is platform. Um, Keep in mind that everything is saturated now, and like especially YouTube. If we're talking specifically the platform we're on now on YouTube, it is so much more difficult now to get anybody to pay attention to you than it used to be, and like everything is so super saturated, and there's so much stuff vying for your attention now. But this is true of a lot of platforms, Twitter, Instagram, anything, and so
Yeah, I was mainly thinking of Instagram and Facebook, that
another
kind of
thing to
stuff.
keep in mind is if no one is paying attention to you, that doesn't necessarily say anything about your content. You
Yeah.
could be putting out excellent, fantastic content, and nobody's paying attention to you because they just haven't found you because it's so saturated. And like I'm not going to because we have other things to do, but like I could launch into, a whole list of suggestions about as specifically with YouTube, how to build community and get something started, certainly, which again is a little harder to do now than it was when I started, and there's of course a certain degree of luck to it, but yeah, I mean, don't look for validation, and don't treat it like having a job at Walmart. And what I mean by that is, just because you'd rather be working somewhere else, but the best thing you can find right now to support yourself is Walmart, does not necessarily say anything about you as a human being. Don't
Hmm.
let your job be your life. Don't let your social media be your life.
And I would say this is not even what you're posting, but when you're looking at other people on Facebook, don't get discouraged if your life doesn't look like their life, because
Yeah,
everybody posts literally only the best parts of their life on there, and their life is not actually like that. It's very Those are just the highlights. I listened to a song the other day by John
boy,
Rubin,
that's such a good point.
called
Yeah.
"They're Living in a Highlight Reel," and it's a really good song, and it's about that exact same thing. It's just like everybody's just posting their highlight reel, and it looks from a distance like their life is just amazing all the time, but it's not. So your life doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah, because I mean, what a good point. It's like advertising. If there are any flaws in the product, we're gonna leave them out when we
Yeah.
when we try to get people to buy them. And social media is. In some ways, I mean, these things still exist, but in some ways, it's like the new sitcom. It's like the new primetime drama. Certainly, like I'm always saying, YouTube is the new reality TV. But what I mean is, it used to be that everybody compared, or a lot of people anyway, would compare their lives to perfect, squeaky clean characters in sitcoms. So in the 1950s, everybody thinks of Leave It to Beaver as the regular way that people live their lives, and of course, that's not the case. That's not accurate. People had a lot of the same problems in their lives that they do now, and a lot of people were really super depressed in the 50s because they thought that their lives were supposed to look perfect like things like that show, and it created a lot of depression, a lot of mental problems and insecurities. And
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting all philosophical, and people just want to hear about the new Batman suit.
oh well, I have nothing to say about that because it's. Did you see it? Did you see a picture of it?
Yeah, it looks crazy. Did you see the chest plate or just
No,
the
I know. I saw
mask?
like a side profile. Was there another picture?
Somebody posted in the Secret Society of the
Oh, okay. I
chat.
see it now. I see it now.
It's
Let me.
crazy. It's all armored, and it looks like my wife. The first thing she said was, "Does he store his batarangs in his chest logo? Because it looks like folded
That's
up batarangs."
pretty freaking cool looking, actually. I think that's exactly what's going on. Let me go ahead and show this to you guys.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and ask
Look
the
at
super chat
that.
since it's what
This is
it's
going to look
talking
like
about.
just an advertisement for the SSSS. But yeah, look at this. That is exactly what's going on. Look, it's clips. I think it's 2 batarangs. I think they're folded in
takes them out
underneath.
and unfolds them and throws them.
That's awesome. And what's really cool about it is, once you get rid of the batarangs, there's now an indention, and it would still probably look pretty good.
Yeah, it would be like a black, like slightly different black. That's really cool. So,
and that is a thing. Sorry, I've never seen that. I mean, I've been reading Batman comics my whole life. I've never seen that. I'm not saying it's never happened, but I don't know about it. I've never seen that. That's really cool.
So our Red Flowers hopped in just to give us this super chat. He says, "Hey Cap and DJ, longtime viewer, Matt Reeves just released a first look video of Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit. Thoughts? Have a good night." So apparently there's like a video of like they're just getting like test footage of the suit. I've seen the video. I've only seen those 2 screenshots in the society.
I've got it pulled up here. Let me go ahead and play it.
Okay.
Look at all this high-tech stuff we can do.
Yeah. OBS. It's an advertisement for OBS. Leave out all the bad parts.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the point of having music on this is, but I'm just seeing a black screen right now. Oh, it's coming into focus.
It's so tiny, I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm popping it out.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a screen grab of that.
Yeah.
Now, some people are saying that they don't. That is exactly what's going on there. Clearly, you could just pop those out.
Like it's 2 armors.
Okay, so there were 2 images because they were both screenshots taken from this video. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done this in the red lighting because it looks too much like Daredevil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it should be like a blue lighting, right?
What's that?
It would be like a blue light. His jaw looks great, though.
It does. Some people are complaining about the neck. I think the neck looks great. I love that, and I'll tell you why. If I had never seen that before, I might not like it as much, but I got really won over on something similar to that in Earth 1. And the initial...
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and like the initial... I don't remember if it was just like art... like concept art or what it was, but we got initial images of what of part of what it would look like, and it had that, and I was like, oh cool, they're doing that neck. So like I was already won over on that neck, but boy, that is cool looking.
I was gonna say it looks kind of Arkham-y / Earth 1-y, and
they are clearly proud of it. Like I like that they're doing little tease releases like that.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's like nice test footage too. Usually test footage is like blah, like he's just like standing around, and that was like really nicely shot and looked really good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's cool. Just that chest thing, I've never seen that. Well, they're clearly getting really visually creative, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of neat practical stuff like that. And that makes me wonder what else they're doing with that suit, because like, what does the utility belt look like when a thing that usually is in it is up here?
Yeah, you know me, I always wanted to be stylistic, and that's one of the things I don't like about Batman is that it's so realistic. So I mean, not that Batman's always realistic, obviously, but the incarnations that we've had previously.
No, but you can do both, man. You can be stylistic and practical. That is both, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's looking good.
It's pretty freaking cool. God, quit picking that cup up. I gotta keep having flashbacks to that movie. But
off camera.
Stop it. No. Viral marketing has worked great for Batman before. Obviously, Dark Knight benefited hugely from, I believe, in Harvey Dent and all of that. I imagine we're going to have a lot of that kind of thing with this, considering we're getting, footage like that this early. They're going to get people super stoked for it. I hope they don't show us too much too fast. I always complain about that. Getting little shots, little snippets like that. Exciting.
I'm thinking someone just said, "I wish the suit was gray," or "I just want the suit to be gray." I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that's why they went with the red, so as not to give away the colors at all.
I think that's exactly
what's going on. If it was blue, they would have been like, "Oh, everyone might have been like, oh, it's blue," and then it's not.
The art was blue and gray.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Dan says that teaser is exactly what they did with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. That's true. That is what they did. Remember the lights that he's standing there, and it was like a slow frame rate, and then they had, or maybe it wasn't, maybe it was like a normal frame rate, I can't remember. But anyway, there was like a light that went over him, and he just had that big grin on his face, and it starts from here's what he is as Arthur Fleck, and then the makeup gets on him. Yeah, that is kind of similar.
I'm down with that if that's how they want to advertise from now on, because that's cool. Did you see earlier when Dan said he might be able to join us tonight?
No, where did he say
After
that?
Dark. He said that a ways back when we were talking about some other stuff.
Well, Dan,
so.
you're absolutely welcome, man. Yeah, I mean, let me know if you can pop in during this show if you want to. We've still got another, 20, 25 minutes. So yeah, just let me know, and I'll bring you in whenever. But if you want to wait till after dark, we'll bring you in for after dark. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, we have a ton of super chats, so we got to get rolling. Like, we have like 8 super chats left.
Well, come on in, Dan. Just whenever you're ready, buddy. The water is fine.
He says he has no homework tonight. All right, Mr. Roboto, time for Geekvolution Forever or 2099 or beyond. I don't know what Forever has to do with 2099 and beyond.
Maybe that's just titles.
Those are both
likes.
Futuristic things. Oh, I guess so.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. One of these things is not like the others. they're all Batman things, but.
Well, 2099 is not bad.
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. You said 2099. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But they're both. 2 of them are future things, and one of them's a Schumacher movie.
I'm overthinking it. One of these things is not like the others in 2 different ways. 2099 is not a Batman thing, and Forever is not a future thing. I don't know what he's talking about there, but we got a little bit of mileage out of it. What else we got?
All right. Malik Myers Reborn. Thoughts on Sam Raimi being the new director for Doctor Strange 2? We kind of talked about this last week, and he says, I think he's a phenomenal choice. I
do too. I don't want to rehash too much of what we said last week. I don't want to get overly excited about that choice because I don't know that it necessarily means anything about like how much studio control we're gonna have over that. Eric and I talked about this, and he suggested that Raimi maybe wouldn't do a project like that unless he had more control of the reins. I guess he means maybe after some of the issues he had working on Spider-Man, because obviously he did have to deal with some studio mandates and control and stuff with those, and like he was forced to do Venom. He didn't like Venom. He didn't want to do that. But it's also possible that he, for whatever reason, might get made to think that Marvel won't do him like that, and then they do. And it's also, like I said last week, possible that Marvel is okay with it being sort of a horror thing. They just don't like the same brand that the director from before wanted to do. I forget his name. But I've also heard it suggested that Raimi might be brought on because he's thought of as a comedic director, and Marvel keeps infusing a lot of comedy in their films, and maybe that's why they wanted to go with him now, and maybe they're thinking that, okay, it will be horror-esque, but it will be like a lot of laughs, and so that's why they're doing that. And maybe they feel they'll get something like a gun product from him. So I don't know.
Well, someone points out also that his last film was Oz the Great and Powerful 7 years ago, so he's not really doing much lately.
He's got time on his hands, yeah.
Yeah, and that movie was terrible.
I forgot he directed that, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he did. I thought he had a really acclaimed like independent film after that, or maybe that was before it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. That's just what Stephen
Time's
Murphy
gotten
said,
away from me. I'm sure there are things that came out 7 years ago that I thought were 3 years ago.
That's cool, Dan. If you like the movie, I'm a big Oz fan though, and it was kind of disappointing for me.
I didn't.
I'm glad you thought it was cool.
I have to take everything with a grain of salt from DJ now because he liked Birds of Prey.
Enjoyed Birds of Prey. I think there's a difference. TH1 gives us a super chat.
Yet every 5 minutes I see that damn cup.
Hey, it was free. I mean, it wasn't free, but it
yes,
holds water.
Nicholas, Drag Me to Hell. Was that 7 years ago?
What's the year on that?
Was that recently, or was that more recent than 7 years ago, or was it 7 years ago?
I guess we'll find out in a minute.
Well, yes, Draven, he did Ash vs. Evil Dead, the TV show, but we're talking movies.
TH1, what is the geekiest day gift you've gotten?
2009 was Drag Me to Hell. Okay, so that was
earlier.
Okay, all right. See, time has gotten away from me. That was that long ago.
Over a decade ago. Good grief. All right, I don't really know what a day gift is. What is the geekiest day gift you've gotten? You rock.
I'm sure that's TH1. A typo. Yeah, feel free to elaborate, and we'll look for your
birthday gift. Maybe birthday gift.
Don't feel like you have to put that in as another super chat.
I'm assuming birthday gift.
Day gift, birthday gift. Man, I always blank when somebody asks me this question. I can never think of specific things people gave me. I think I blank out because I don't want to accidentally forget something really cool that like the coolest thing anybody ever gave me. So I'm like,
Tory GNR1 might be right. He says V-Day.
That's
Valentine's
Dan.
Day. Yeah, and I know. But I just called him Tory GNR1. Sorry.
I know,
should I call him Dan?
Yeah, call him Dan.
Sorry, Dan. Cap hates your screen name.
No, I don't. It's just he hasn't gone by that in so long, and he hasn't posted videos on his own channel in a long time. I don't think. Did they say V-Day? Was it Valentine's Day?
Well, he just said day, but they're all guessing that it's Valentine's Day, so let's just answer that.
I was like, Veterans Day? What?
Yeah. TH1 confirms he meant V-Day.
I mean, I think Valentine's Day presents with my wife and I have always just been kind of real standard things. We don't go for anything major, like, and it's usually not anything super tangible, right? Like, Valentine's Day is all about food. Not the same way Thanksgiving is. It's all about candy and, like, things that expire. Flowers and candy and cards you throw away. It's about things that expire.
Sorry, I just thought of a rant for After Dark. I'll talk about that.
You want more tangible Valentine's Day items? Stick around.
No, I'm sure I've got something geeky. I'm sure if she's got me just like movies and stuff, but it's usually movies.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Sarah and I never go for like real gifts. It's always like like a nice dinner or something like that.
Yeah, this year we're just kind of going to. Well, I won't tell her because I'm surprising her, and she may be watching right now. But we're just gonna do something tomorrow, and we didn't.
I won't tell her.
We're not doing gifts this year because we're doing we're going to Jamaica in a couple weeks, so we're gonna play it.
I actually know your wife a little bit now, and I'm terrible at keeping secrets. So you gotta be careful now. I might accidentally. No, I won't.
Apple just go right as soon as I start ranting in After Dark. I'll just start texting.
I actually texted your wife like 3 minutes before we started recording.
What? She didn't tell me that. I guess I was already up there.
Haven't heard from her back. She maybe doesn't know about it, but
she's bad.
I was just looking at Facebook. And I noticed something on her wall, and I just sent her a message. And then I was like, "Oh, we have to shoot our show now." But anyway, Dan says he can come in whenever he just finished his game. Sure, Dan, this will be fun. Why don't you just show up for the last few minutes of this show?
15-minute guest.
Why not? And then you can stick around. We should be jerk faces about this and put Dan's name in the title of the video afterwards.
Dan.
Be like,
that's a clickbait.
What's funny is, and this is nothing against Dan, because obviously people on the channel love Dan, even though he has no feelings. Maybe because he has no feelings, and he would be a good clickbait title. However, I think we already have had major subjects in the show tonight that would be better clickbait topics to put in the title. Dan, let me know when you get on Skype, and I will buzz you in.
Stephen Ernst wants to know what I do for a living. He thinks I sound well off. I can tell you I'm not well off, but we just have never gone on a trip in like the 5 years we've known each other because I'm super cheap, and now we're finally going on a trip. So that's why we're going to Jamaica.
I was going to say, one of the words that I would most readily use to describe DJ is frugal. So like DJ doesn't have to make a lot of money to look like he has money whenever he spends it, because that's like twice a year, like at all.
Yeah, Cap came to my house and was like, "Man, I wish I could not spend money like you." Because I've had a PS4 since my last year's birthday, and I had one game for it, which was Spider-Man.
You guys, I will tell you, I have had better spending habits since I left DJ's place. Like he absolutely rubbed off on me in really positive ways. You won't believe me because I have bought arcade machines since then, but I have been saving for Morphicon.
Downfall of your budgeting because I've got you addicted to those arcade machines.
But I've been saving money like mad for Morphicon. That's going really well. Dan says good morning. It's not morning at all, Dan.
I was just thinking about it.
Oh, oops. Hold on, I messed up. I should have added Dan to the call, but I didn't do that. Hey, Dan, I accidentally hung up on my co-host. Hold on.
Hello.
I gotta bring DJ back in.
Oh.
Because I accidentally hung up on him to bring you in. DJ, I'm sorry about that. I messed up. DJ, sorry about that.
I'm here.
Sorry, that was
I
my
live
fault.
or were you live?
No, I hung up on you on accident because I forgot I had to add Dan to the call.
Oh, it said I was on hold. It didn't say I was hung up. It said I was on hold.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't feel as rude. Hi, Dan.
Okay.
Hello, friends.
Welcome to the program, Dan. We're thinking about using you as clickbait now in the title. Be like,
I heard about that.
Hey, that's a cool hoodie.
Thank you. I like Luigi. He's my favorite.
Luigi. Someone said I knew DJ and Dan were the same person because as soon as you came in, I dropped out.
See, we actually got somebody to pretend to be Dan so that we could do that thing that they do a lot in like Batman shows, where you like try to prove that Batman and Bruce Wayne are not the same person by having them on screen at the same time together. That's what we did. This is some guy we found on the street, and we dressed him up as Dan.
I am a body double. Paul McCartney was killed years ago, and this is fake Dan.
This was a real elaborate scam that we had.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome, Dan. It's really good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you too. I can't see you on Skype. I just see
Lord
Power
Zed.
Rangers villain. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I forgot that extra step.
We shouldn't have told him. We should have just let him do that the whole time.
I want to see
How would that
everyone's
benefit
beautiful things tonight.
You know, I like Lord Zed.
Dan, like 15 more people joined as soon as you got in the
Really?
call. I don't understand that, because if
they
they
got
weren't
the
out
memo.
here already, how would they know?
Well, I'm flattered. Thank you. That probably doesn't have anything to do with me, to be honest.
I think it's completely unrelated, Dan. So, Dan is in the iconic Dan Torrey bedroom.
Yeah, the old place. This is the locale tonight. Thanks for having me tonight, guys. I didn't think to talk to you ahead of time because I didn't think I was going to have a night off. I didn't believe it because that never happens. But I checked my schedule and I didn't have anything to do. So
Man, I wish somehow we'd known. We could have done something important.
yeah, I know.
We could have reviewed Mandalorian or something.
What are you talking about? This is the most important show on the network.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking over.
How
to see
dare
if
you
we lost
besmirch the
anyone
Captain
after
Logan show?
After that comment.
All right, we have 9 super chats, by the way.
Oh man, we better
wow.
blow through them. We've only got 15 minutes left in the program. And then we're going to do it after dark, and Dan's welcome, of course. Stick around for that. Brandon will be here. I got a whole list of ridiculous things to do.
This group, last time this group was together was the best show ever.
This was the best
I
dynamic.
know.
It was. I think, what was that, episode 3? Episode 2? It was absolutely the best one we've had so far.
Was it that early? Wow, I didn't realize I was on episode 3. I was in on the ground floor.
Well, tonight will only be 5.
Oh.
Because we only do this show every 2 weeks, and we just started it, so.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, because we had Fusion on last week, and then you missed that one with Brandon. So, all right.
Yeah, 9. Let's do it.
I don't know what Mr. Robato's talking about here. It was probably related to something we were talking about earlier, but I like it
That
anyway.
is a theme this evening.
I like to just say it anyway. It's in general. Cap, trying to apply logic will only lead to pain.
Oh well, that could have. That could fit with a number of things we talked about earlier. Yeah, I agree with you, and yet it's just how my mind works.
All right, Nicholas Robinson says, "What are some of the best TV shows you've seen?" Wow, huge question. Not even. Just
Dan, what are some of
TV
your
shows.
favorite shows? Everyone knows what I like. Go ahead.
Favorite shows of all time. I really like The Twilight Zone. That's one of my favorite old shows.
You and Connor.
Because I like that. Yeah, I like that blend of horror and science fiction. I think that's a really interesting premise for a anthology show. It seems like it has unlimited possibilities. That's what I always liked about it. Recently, The Mandalorian's been pretty good. I think there were some episodes in the middle of the season that were not great, but the first 3 were really good, and I thought 7 and 8 were really good. I watched the first episode of The Witcher, and that show was okay.
I just watched the first episode of The Witcher last night.
I thought Henry Cavill was better than I thought he was going to be. Because I couldn't see him playing that character at all. But he's pretty decent in it. I've been watching The Sopranos. I don't know. No one's probably watching that. The Sopranos is great though. If you haven't heard already.
Are you going through it for the first time, or have you seen it before?
For the first time. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm on season 2. Yeah. I stopped for a little while because I was waiting for my lady friend to catch up. But yeah, that show's incredible. And my parents are huge Springsteen fans. We grew up listening to their music all the time. One of the members of his band is a main character in that show, so it's a special thing for us.
Wow.
We're watching. It's awesome. Anyway, what are your favorite TV shows?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm a massive Star Trek guy. TNG is probably my favorite show of all time, despite all the bad episodes, because there are many. I have my ridiculous love-hate relationship with Smallville, but considering I can't stop talking about that show, I should probably put that in this list. Breaking Bad has turned into one of my favorite things. I'm going through, I think, my 4th or 5th watch through of that show now. I just cannot stop watching it. I like Better Call Saul a lot too. I need to go back and rewatch the first couple seasons in getting into the new one, which finally dropped on Netflix. It's so weird, by the way, that like I'm assuming it's just how the networks are set up in their contracts, but like some shows will show up like a couple of weeks after the last season airs on Netflix, and some shows have to wait for like a year until the new season drops. I realized that Arrow ended, but like season 8 of Arrow comes up on Netflix like days after the finale aired, which was like really surreal to me because I've never seen that happen. But anyway. Buffy and Angel. Angel's probably my 2nd or 3rd favorite show of all time.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Breaking Bad too. That show's amazing, and I forgot to mention Watchmen too.
I was gonna say, I can't believe you didn't talk about Watchmen for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Watchmen's hard now because it's a miniseries. It's in that weird category where it's hard to compare it to TV shows. Because it's not like a canceled first season. It's a miniseries now. It didn't know it was, but that's what it is now.
I'll just throw some out real quick. I really liked, for as far as comedy shows, I really like The Office, especially the first 5 seasons. Is that awkward humor is really my sense of humor. Always Sunny is an incredible show, and it's going for 14 seasons, and it's still great. This last season was really awesome. I really like, obviously, Bates Motel. Cap and I talked about that.
Bates Motel.
Good.
I didn't think of that. I love that show.
I really liked Lost. I really liked Sherlock. Sherlock was one of my favorite shows, but I still haven't watched the 4th season. I got to do that. And one of my all-time favorite shows is Fargo. Fargo is amazing.
Wow.
4th season's about to come out. Super pumped. It's amazing. It's a really good show. It's like an anthology show, but it all takes place in the same universe in like different time periods. Like the first season's like 2006, and the second season's like in the 70s, and the third season's 2010. And I think they're going all the way like to the 20s this season with Chris Rock. It's crazy.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah, you guys, I cannot recommend it enough. It's by the same guy who did Legion.
I'd watch that.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's
interesting.
A really
I might have to watch that. That does sound really interesting.
That is not a thing
first season
to watch.
It's so good. Have you seen the show Coen Brothers movie? I mean the movie.
I haven't. Mm-mm.
Oh, I didn't realize it was related to the Coen Brothers movie. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's the first season kind of picks up with a tiny thread that's left in the movie, but it's like 10 years later. And it's all these different things that take place in Fargo.
Is it show
throughout different time periods?
Is it show run by the same guy that wrote that? Am I right
Noah
about
Hawley.
that? Yeah.
Noah.
And he was supposed to make the next Star Trek movie. And he wrote what I'm assuming is a brilliant script, and then Paramount wouldn't take it because it was too Star Trek-like. Because of course that's what happened. And I hate them. I hate them so much. Honestly, I should just complain about Star Trek all night tonight on After Dark. I don't have that in my agenda, but now I want to because I'm so angry, and I forgot how angry I was.
Oh, is the Patrick Stewart revival really bad?
Oh,
we'll talk about that.
All right, 8 super chats, guys. 8 super chats. Let's move on from that.
I kept saying that during the 24-hour stream. Picard would come up and be like, I don't want to talk about that, and then I started talking about it. 8 super chats. Go ahead.
All right. See Fargo, guys. It's awesome. From Christian Ogden, I thought Birds of Prey was okay. Will the financial struggles make WB panic, or will the fact that it's getting good reviews help them just move on?
I think this time it's not going to make a lot of a difference for them. I think it is really helpful that the Joker movie won Oscars the same week this happened. I don't think they're going to suddenly turn tail and jump ship and change everything around over Birds of Prey. First of all, that is going to be a loss for them, but was not a relatively huge budget. They were smart in not spending a lot of money on that movie. I think it had was it as little as 50 million? Is that what I read? What I read was that it needed like 100 million domestically to make its money back, And yeah, I think it had like a $50-$60 dump.
I think it will make its money back. I just don't think it's going to be like a hit for them.
No, it's not. But I mean, yeah,
it's only the first
clearly.
weekend. It's not like, yeah. But anyway.
But it will barely make its money back, I think. But yeah, I don't think they have any reason to panic this time. It would be dumb if they did. The only thing I could see it affecting at all is Suicide Squad 2, because she is in that. But that is a gun-helmed thing. When he gets on a project, they tend to, studios tend to kind of let him do his thing. So I doubt very seriously if it's going to affect any of their plans moving on, except they just probably won't do another standalone Harley Quinn thing for a long time. It's also possible that they sort of forget they make that movie if Suicide Squad 2 does really well, and if Harley Quinn is once again a breakout character. This could just be like a really weird footnote, ultimately.
Well, we didn't even talk about the fact that she was really the one pushing for it to be an R-rated movie.
She was the one that pushed for everything. She's the reason
that has to be one of the big reasons it didn't do as well. You just cut like half your audience or most of your Suicide Squad audience. And I don't know if the Suicide Squad is supposed to be PG-13 or if they were thinking about R, because this might influence that decision, and they might start tampering with that.
Except, again, Joker won Oscars. I mean, I don't know if the R thing is gonna affect him or not, unless behind the scenes they go, oh crap, Gunn's making a movie that looks too much like this, and I don't think that will happen. So.
Yeah, but I think this and Joker were marketed to two very different audiences.
They were. I'm just saying that the rated R-ness of it won't necessarily affect anything they do moving forward, because it's not like, oh no, it was rated R, so that is the reason it didn't make money. Clearly, that's not the case.
Mm-hmm. TH1 gives us another super chat. What is your 5 favorite movie studios from worst to best? I really love your channel, and happy Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry, I was reading comments.
All right. What are your 5?
I apologize.
First of all, he says happy Valentine's Day. And then he says, what are your 5 favorite movie studios from worst to best? Yeesh.
Wow. Look, it's not called the Captain Logan Takes a Test show. Okay, so, this is hard because Disney keeps buying them. So that makes it kind of difficult. Sony is somewhere near the bottom. Paramount is somewhere near the bottom. I think at the moment Sony, I don't know, do we put Sony at 5 and Paramount at 4, or are they just vying for that so hard right now?
I don't think Paramount even makes good trash like Sony does, though. You know what I mean? Like, Venom was like a really crappy movie, but it's a great time to watch because it's insane. And, like, Paramount has not made a movie that has interested me in a very long time. At least I feel. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm forgetting, but...
Same here. Universal is probably middle of the road.
Yeah,
hey, I've got a list. I'm going to start throwing them out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, Universal look, I didn't think it was an open book test, okay? Sorry, go ahead.
This one has 20th Century Studios as its own studio, so I guess we still have to count that. So Pixar,
I don't think
Marvel,
we should, though, because Disney is still in charge of them all, though. I think you have to put Disney all on one roof, especially if you're just saying 5.
Yeah, that's true. We should probably count it if because it would be like Marvel, Pixar.
Yeah, if we separate them, we could just do this with studios under Disney. Like, you have to, if we're doing 5, everything Disney owns counts as 1, okay?
Yeah, I don't even recognize, like, I mean, I know these, I've heard these, but I couldn't tell you what movies, like Columbia Pictures, MGM.
I really like A24. If you like low-budget horror movies, they make, like, really good stuff pretty consistently.
Yeah, and Blumhouse is in there.
I haven't seen a ton of their stuff. I saw the Halloween sequel remake thing that they did. It was pretty decent.
Is anybody going to see the horror remake of Fantasy Island that they're making? Because I think that looks really bad.
That came out this week. That came out today. That's
Fantasy
so weird.
Island.
Yeah.
What is that?
And they have a guy.
I don't even know what Fantasy Island is.
Fantasy Island was a TV show in, I think, the 70s with Ricardo Montalban. Where you go to an island and Ricardo. Look, I'm done with that movie. Okay, just stop it. where Ricardo Montalban runs the island, and when you get there, somehow magically they can make anything that you want to happen come to life. Do you remember? I know it's been a long time, Dan, but do you remember the TOS episode Shore Leave with the white rabbit, where like they go on a planet and like any fantasy they come up with happens? It's like that, but like the whole show.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. Does Ricardo Montalban have like a plastic chest in it?
I don't know. I never really watched it. And then there was a remake in the early 2000s with of all people the villain from Star Trek Generations.
I don't know.
It'll come.
I've never seen that.
You'll know who I'm talking about. I just can't think of his name right. Anyway, somebody will say it. Okay, let's move on. I know there's a lot more super chats.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to throw out Leica Studios, which makes all the awesome stop motion movies like Kubo and the Two Strings and Mr. Link from last year.
Okay.
And that's
really cool. That's pretty cool.
I really like those movies.
Malcolm McDowell.
Yay!
They replaced. They replaced Ricardo Montalban with, of all people, Malcolm McDowell, and I think that's hilarious.
I haven't seen a ton of them, but Studio Ghibli, the anime movie studio, they make good stuff too.
That in the comments.
Oh,
I recently saw Coraline Cinematographic, and I enjoyed it.
Coraline's good, and Coraline has a TMBG song in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember that scene where the I haven't seen that in a long time, but where the dad in that movie sits at a piano and like there's this big musical number?
Yes.
That was not only written by They Might Be Giants, but it was performed by them, and all of a sudden that dad has John Linnell's voice for the 2 minutes that he's singing, and it's so weird as a TMBG fan. He just suddenly has Linnell's voice.
Wow. No, Kubo and the Two Strings is awesome. I really recommend that one if you haven't seen any. If they're going to see one of their movies, see Kubo. In a world, this is just from John Ty.
In a world
where we have movies. Okay, I'm not going to do that the whole time. That are so bad that it's good. Can there be movies where it's so good that it's bad? I don't think we have enough alcohol to answer this question.
No, I think is not all opposites end up being like the true the other direction. Yeah, no, I don't think.
Well, hold on. There are movies that are really, really, really good that I never ever want to watch again, which is kind of similar. Like, I imagine Schindler's List is like this. I haven't seen it, but I've heard that you never want to watch it again.
But it's not because it's so good. It's like I think that's a separate issue, right? It's about a subject matter that's difficult to watch, and if it sucked, you wouldn't want to watch it. But because it's great, that also doesn't help you want to watch. These are separate issues.
But does the fact that it's about something that's difficult for you to watch is part of what makes it good?
Only because the execution is good. There's all kinds of movies that try that and suck at it.
I'm trying to answer the man's question, okay? If you want to keep shooting me down, move on.
Yeah, look, I already answered it. It's no.
All right, move on. Sorry, John Ty. No,
it's an interesting question. I just don't think it works that way. There are movies, to be serious, there are movies that are so good the hype gets insane and you get really sick of them, but that doesn't make them bad. You just
that's true.
You may get sick of looking at movies that are really good because everyone's talking about them, but that doesn't make the piece bad.
But your experience could be bad. I guess bad is such a vague.
Well, that's true.
I don't know. He might have just been joking, and we, of course, analyzed his question to death.
That's probably why he asked it. If we hadn't done that, he'd have been disappointed.
Hey, Cap, I'm trying to get more into Star Trek. I've seen some of TOS and TNG a long time ago. Are there any episodes from any of the shows you would recommend to a beginner?
Absolutely.
Classic Geekvolution question.
Absolutely. My favorite episode of The Next Generation is a wonderful, very funny standalone show called A Matter of Time with a character called Berlin Hot Rasmussen. It's a great time travel episode, and not convoluted, ridiculous time travel. I think likely anybody would enjoy that. I always have people start at Best of Both Worlds with TNG because while it's weird to tell people to start at the very best of something, it somehow seems to work. I started Eric. I got Eric to sit down and watch Best of Both Worlds, and he did not care about Star Trek and didn't really want to do it, and he finally did it, and came to love the show and Star Trek in general as an idea after that. So like Best of Both Worlds works for people. Start with it. It's weird, but do it. And then, so like that's like major TNG things. Other big beloved TNG episodes that are easy to watch on their own. The Inner Light is one. Lessons is a nice romance episode that I like a lot. Good Picard-centered thing. And then TOS. Start with something like a Mock Time. Or
yeah, I love that episode. That episode's really good.
Start with a Mock Time, or start with
Spock's brain.
No, don't start with Spock's brain. Sorry, it's not coming to me right. The first Romulan episode, Balance of Terror. Balance of Terror.
Oh, yes. That one too. I like that one a lot.
Me too.
Stop it.
I like The City on the Edge of Forever is really good too. I think you can watch that one standalone as well.
Yeah, I don't recommend it right away usually because I have a love-hate relationship with that episode now because I've read Harlan Ellison's script that they hobbled a lot of the best stuff out of, and I mean,
I heard that was really good.
It's good, but it's not as good as I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like if you watch the episode without reading the comic book, you'd really enjoy it. But I haven't read the comic book, but I really enjoyed the episode the first time I watched it.
Yeah, but also, I have a weird relationship with that these days because my wife does not like that episode. It's like
really?
Most people's favorite episode, and she has really interesting reasons for that, and I think about it differently than I used to. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Fair enough.
I asked a similar question to this to Cap way back when you were doing the multi-topic
really
extravaganzas.
When we're already past time, we'll do this as quickly and insightfully as possible. Go ahead.
I see that. I was just saying, I asked a similar question to this way back when you were doing the multi-topic extravaganzas. For those guys who remember those, I basically said, "Hey, I just watched Star Trek '09 and I really liked it. Where should I go from here?" And your answer was hilarious. You basically said, "Well, there's nowhere to go from there because that's not like the show."
Is that what I said?
You were basically like, "Oh yeah, that's not really like anywhere." So I think you probably just gave some episodes that you liked because there wasn't really anything similar to that movie.
What I should have said, if I was trying to be helppful and not a jackass, what I should have said was...
which he does kind of often.
What character did you most latch onto, and then I'll give you episodes that are focused on that character. That's what I should have said.
Yeah. But it was a multi-topic extravaganza, so there's no way for us to communicate. T-Edge1 says, Dan...
Well, then that's probably why I went snarky. Okay, well, you know what? I stand by my jackassness. And, yeah, go ahead.
He says, Dan/everyone. He really wanted to emphasize Dan, though, apparently. Oh. Do you have Pokemon Home yet, and thoughts?
What is Pokemon Home is a...
Pokemon?
No, thankfully not. I don't want
hey,
Big Brother
Pikachu,
Pokemon.
turn on the lights.
I don't want Gengar. I don't want Gengar listening to every waking thought I have.
Is that really what it is?
No. It's
I want to talk to Gengar.
It's this service that allows you to store Pokemon that you catch in a variety of the video games, and you put them in like a common place. It's kind of like a bank, and then like in the future, you like will be able to transfer your Pokemon from like the virtual bank into like the future games. So it's like kind of future proofing Pokemon, I guess. I don't care about Pokemon that much. I play through the story and I'm like, peace, and then I play the next one when it comes out. I don't like play competitively and like IV train and like spend 2,000 hours making the perfect Charizard. I don't have time for that. So for people that like to do that, like for the competitive scene, I get why they're really excited about it, but it's just not why I play those games. But yeah, I liked the newest one they put on Switch. A lot of people on the internet complained about it, but I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, Dan, I have to talk to you about that because my wife got me a Switch for my birthday, and there's like, I wanted to look into the Pokemon games, but there's so many of them.
Yeah, they put out the like 2 core ones they put out recently. I like see what people were saying, that it feels like a rush job kind of, but like it's still enjoyable to play. I think like if you haven't played a Pokemon in years, you'd really enjoy it. It's pretty fun.
All right, we got one more super chat that Cap was worried about. It is from John Ty.
Look, I'm not worried. I'm not like, you stumped me with this one. Nah, we just don't have time for it. Go ahead.
All right, you got. It's gonna be old GNN. You got 3 minutes. What's the difference between criticism and harassment?
No, you're right. It's better to put it that way as opposed to multi-topic extravaganza, because that never stopped us from talking too long about something.
No, I'm putting 3 minutes on the clock.
No, I don't have notes. I didn't write anything down. Okay, so difference between criticism and harassment. So this sounds like a really obvious thing, but I'm glad that it was brought up, because this is a thing that people lately seem to not know the difference between. Particularly on YouTube and also other social media. I have been seeing this come up everywhere in stuff, where, and I think what he might be alluding to is people who will get upset with people or block people or ban people or whatever from their social media, from their YouTube channel, from their Twitter, whatever it is, because they don't agree with them, and they see that as harassment, or like bullying or something. This has been coming up so much lately, and there is, of course, a giant chasmic difference. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to start saying it because I like it. Chasmus difference between somebody respectfully criticizing your opinion and somebody coming after you. They're different things, and I think there are a lot of people who either cannot or refuse to see the difference between those things now, and it's really troubling. And I think it is. I'm going to sound soapboxy, but I don't know how not to, just to express my opinion on this. I think it's coming from kind of an anti-critical thinking place. I think some people are kind of forgetting how to think critically, where they can't take criticism, and they will not see the difference because they don't like that people are disagreeing with them. And I think some young people are not being taught the difference as they're being raised. I think that's happening too. It's a thing we're talking about. I don't think I have to explain to you guys what the difference is. I think, if people can't recognize it, that's unfortunate. To me, there's a real clear, obvious difference. But it is okay to disagree with people. I mean, that's ultimately the lesson here, is that there's a difference between somebody saying, look, I'm not with you on that, and somebody going, you suck, you're a horrible person, you should go die. There's a difference between those things. And sometimes someone will hear you're wrong about that, and they will, and what they will hear is, you suck and you should go die.
Sorry I started laughing in the middle of your spiel, but my wife texted me and said, you and Dan look super amused. Because we were apparently just like dead-faced during your monologue there. But I was listening intently, and I agree.
Yes. I think people I think people take what is said on the internet way too seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that the only reason why this harassment people talk about is successful is because people take people on the internet that seriously, and if you just didn't pay attention to these people, they would just go away. The reason why these people feel emboldened to do these kind of things to people, I think, is in part because there's movements to ban them. It's just like people typing on a keyboard. Ignore them and move on. I don't know. I don't know. I understand when you're getting death threats from people, that's different, that's serious, but if people just say mean things to you on Facebook, I don't know.
Even if somebody my policy has always been to ignore stuff like that, whether you want to consider it trolling or not. Would it be? And I understand that some people are not going to agree on what is trolling and what is not. I have sometimes seen people who are maybe being like more angry or volatile than they ought to, but they didn't come in to do that. They're just upset with you, and they say some things that are maybe kind of like childish, but that doesn't make them trolls. So like there's maybe a fine line with that. I don't think there's that fine of a line between harassment and criticism. But if somebody comes into my comment sections and says Captain Logan's an idiot, I'm not going to delete that comment. Like that's I wouldn't go say that to somebody else myself, and it's not necessarily constructive. Like somebody in the tell me if you guys agree with this. Somebody in the live comments just said like criticism is constructive and harassment is harassment. I don't know if I even completely agree. I mean, I guess that's true, but I'm not even gonna delete a comment if it's just like Captain Logan's an idiot or Captain Logan's an asshat. Like,
well, I think the word harassment. I think it's really important that he used the word harassment instead of like just being a jerk, because harassment is a different thing than leaving one jerky comment. Harassment is like going in your DMs and just like repeatedly like berating you over and over because you disagreed with them on something.
That's
and, like,
true. Some of it is about volume, isn't it?
Yeah, and when those kind of people you can't just ignore because they are crazy. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that just get like.
No,
people
that's true.
who,
If you have somebody that clearly makes like 30 different accounts all to just say this guy sucks, like somebody needs to talk to that guy.
Oh yeah, that's insane. Like, do people actually do that?
Oh yes,
like,
absolutely.
30 accounts and harass people?
Mm-hmm.
That like what?
Yeah.
Who has time to do that, man? Like
trolls.
geez.
That's all they do.
But I
man.
will
I
say, even when that kind of thing happens, sometimes it takes me a little while to even notice it, because I don't.
Weirdest?
I don't read every comment right away. I obviously we're about on this channel having a community, and I do try to talk to folks, but not as much in comment sections as I mean I do that some, but first of all I don't have time to read all the comments all day long, and secondly. And I usually get around to seeing all of them, but like I much prefer to interact with the audience in like in like this kind of a setting, or like a forum, or something like the SSSS, or just like here's a post and then like I'm asking for responses. Like I always say that our videos are starting a conversation, but like I don't always have time to stick around and help finish them, but like, I don't know. So like, sometimes people have been annoyed with me because I'll let those people be in there for too long, but I don't always even like right away know about them. I got other things to do.
Yeah, like take care of your dogs.
Yeah. Well, Brandon's here. That tells me Brandon's here.
All right, perfect timing, because that's our last super chat.
All right. Sweet. Did anybody else want to weigh in on that at all? Are we good?
I was just gonna ask like where this takes place. Is this just like a Twitter thing? Does it happen on YouTube? Is it like? I guess I just don't traffic in these circles of the internet where people are doing stuff like this. Is it mainly relegated to one platform?
One big thing, and I'm not going to name any names, I don't want to get in the middle of this whole debate and debacle, but one thing that's been happening lately, particularly in, or at least one place I know about it, is in the video game community on YouTube, is YouTubers being called out and not being able to take the criticism and deleting a lot of comments, making it so that, I didn't even know you could do this, making it so that certain keywords, if they come up, that comment will disappear, blocking accounts, and one thing I've been hearing about that's nuts and illegal, it turns out, is there are even YouTubers that are intentionally going around false flagging other YouTube channels that say things they don't like about them, for copyright. Like, somebody makes a video about another YouTuber calling them out for something, uses their picture in the thumbnail, and then that person gives them a copyright strike, which you have the power as a content creator to wholesale do that, and it can be disputed. But if somebody already has 2 strikes and you do that to them, you could be ruining their entire career. And
wow,
and people are doing that. It is completely fair use if you're talking about if the topic of your video is another YouTube channel, to use their picture in your It's really weird this came up tonight because I've been listening to things about this today. It is completely legal and fair use to use a picture in the thumbnail, to use clips of them for context in the video, of course. And if you flag that person, you can be taken to court and you can be sued for damages. And it is insane that people are doing that, and they're doing it because they can't take criticism, and that sucks. But yes, Dan, that is just one of many examples.
Imagine, like...
That's interesting, Lutan. Like, the person... Again, I'm not going to say anybody's names. The person you're talking about in the comments is not who I'm talking about, and I don't know who that is. I'm telling you, multiple people are doing this.
Imagine dedicating your life to false flagging YouTube channels. That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Like... Oh my god!
And to creating this narrative that you never do anything wrong and you don't make mistakes, and
that's such a waste of time. Oh my god!
Isn't it though? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's funny.
I don't know. What a weird note to end on. Anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching the Captain Logan Show. Dan, thanks for unexpectedly popping in. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
We didn't even say a while Dan appears.
Oh,
we missed the opportunity.
What a missed opportunity. Yeah. Well, I was too distracted by your friggin' Harley Quinn cup.
He's like...
Stop it!
He's like triggered by it.
I know, I love it. I mean, just do it the whole next show.
Stop it!
Ooh, Captain Logan! Oh gosh, I can't even line it up with my webcam, right?
This is the most immature thing in a long time.
Yeah, we're being fools.
Everybody, thanks as always for watching. We sure appreciate it. Stick around if you're so inclined for Captain Logan After Dark over on Patreon. We're going to start that up here in about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to bring in Brandon, and we're going to get set up and ready for that. Got lots of fun things to do with you. We're going to do some rants. We're going to do some trivia. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. So pop in for that. And we are... Dan, are you sticking around?
Yes, sir.
And we'll have Dan Torrey, so you can come hang out with Dan. Just $2 a month on Patreon if you're not already subscribed to that. Patreon.com/geekvolution. That will get you access to that, and I'm going to put out the link here in a few minutes. Thanks, everybody. Sure appreciate you. I was Captain Logan. This was DJ Martinez.
Adios.
And Dan Torrey. Now, Dan, I'm gonna switch over for some music, so don't say a bunch of things while people are listening to the outro music, okay? Are you ready? Okay,
I can make no promises.
Here, just put the camera on me while the music plays.
Bye.